Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 377. It is Friday here in Cincinnati. It's sunny, blue skies. There's some snow on the ground. It's pretty chilly outside. And we're in February already. January just flew by and it's going quickly. Yeah. So much fun to share with you. I re-listened to the podcast that I recorded before my birthday weekend and will continue the flow of joy and play and love right into this one. So if you're just listening to that and then coming to this one, it's going to sound a little similar. I had this thought earlier of, is there something profound that I have to share, some big message? I'm like, nope, right now it's about joy and play, and maybe those big profound messages will arrive next week, but right now it's still about the celebration of life and finding the beauty of what is available to us here on this planet. I think many times we get so consumed with the schedule and work and deadlines and assignments and responsibilities. We just forget to play and laugh and enjoy. It's so much fun. Yeah, we went to see Brad's granddaughter yesterday, and she is almost 2, and she just pulled us into the room and just started shaking her little butt and dancing. It was so much fun. We had a dance party, and then my friend this morning shared a video of her and her son recently where they were at a doctor's office waiting, and they started dancing, and she did this little video of his dance moves. There is such magic in finding the joy of the moment you're in and just being in it and allowing love to pour through you. And maybe that expresses in dance. Maybe you sing, maybe you laugh, maybe you just start talking about things that make you happy. But it's just such a beautiful expression of life in the moment. Not waiting until some big thing, but just in the moment, feeling it and allowing it to move through you. So the title for today is called Toes in the Sand, and it comes from this song that my husband and I kept singing. We couldn't remember the title of it or the artist. We knew it was a country band, but the way we remembered it was by the line, "Ass in the Sand." So that's what we Googled, and then it's actually called Toes by Zach Brown Band. Here's the lyrics. It's so basic and so simply powerful. It says, "I've got my toes in the water, ass in the sand, not a worry in the world, a cold beer in my hand. Life is good today. Life is good today." And so that's the vibration I bring to whatever is going to flow through in this time that we'll spend together next. And maybe there'll be something more, deep and wise next week. But for right now, not a worry in the world. We're going to step into a little energy bubble that's called Viv's Vortex. My reality, the way that I have lived my life over the past 2 weeks, and the past little while. My husband calls it my bubble. He's like, "You live in a bubble." Maybe, and it's okay. It's working really, really well for me. So welcome to my birthday bubble. That's what we're going to chat about in this space. Yeah, and just like the last episode, it may be annoying. You may not want to listen to it. That's okay. you can listen to the next one, and there might be something that's more of a match for you then. But for right now, we're going to talk about celebrating life, and I'll share the way in which I have been choosing to do it recently, and maybe that will inspire something fun to happen in your world over the next few days or weeks also. So I turned 50 a week ago, and it doesn't really feel any different than 49 in this moment. But it sure was fun celebrating. I think I shared this last week. I don't really know why I'm making such a big deal out of it in my life, but I am, and it's been a blast. I think we're almost to the end of the celebrations for now. I received another beautiful, beautiful present last night in the mail. My husband saw the box. He's like, "Is your birthday ever going to end?" Maybe not yet. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, the last episode I was sharing what I was preparing to do, and when I was listening to it and thinking about what actually happened, I'm like, oh, it's even better. It was even better than I thought it was going to be. How is that possible? Because I was pretty amped up. I was really, really excited about how my birthday was going to go. And the reality was even better than the expectation. And that hardly ever has happened before. Sometimes I set my expectations pretty high, and then when I don't have the exact experience in the way that I want it, my attachment to it makes me disappointed. And I didn't have an attachment to, how would I describe it? I had wishes of what I was hoping would be for my birthday month. And I also wasn't gripping onto it or expecting everyone to have to be a certain way. It was more the feeling that I was wishing about, the putting the pieces in place that could allow me to drop right in and have dance party after dance party energetically. And that's what happened. And I think because I wasn't attached to who was there, how it had to go, or what the actual activities would look like, there was this incredible flow of love and receiving and play that just happened without me having to direct it, which is amazing. Such a revolutionary idea that I could let go and actually allow magic to happen. So, yeah, I'll just recap quickly, I guess, or maybe not so quickly. I started with a weekend away with my best friend at the beginning of the year. Actually, even before that, on the first day of this year, one of my friends who I absolutely adore met me in the car and gave me a hand-crocheted blanket, a chakra blanket, which I have over my legs right now as I'm sitting here talking with you. She poured all of this beautiful energy and love into the colors of each chakra and then created this amazing blanket that is so full of love and healing. I told her it's a medicine blanket, and she gave that to me on the first day of this year, and I just started crying. I could feel how much love she had poured into it, along with all these other beautiful little goodies in her basket of magic. But the blanket has been around me, around everyone that's been in and out of my space the whole month. And as I sit here, I can just feel how steady the connection is between my chakras and the blanket that she made for me. And I don't even know how to express it properly, but it was the most beautiful gift, and it will live in my world for a very, very long time and move through all of my events and activities with me because it brings so much healing. So I took that blanket with me when Ange and I went away, and we were with some friends, and that was just the most incredible time of reflection and tuning into this transition I'm going through. What have I been doing in my life and my relationships and my work, and who is it I want to become more of as I move forward in the next 50 years. And I've known which direction I'm going, but being more clear about, like, laser focusing on the priority or the thing or the path the path. Like that's what that weekend really helped me articulate for myself or discover for myself. And so I've been sitting with that over the past few weeks, in and out of all of these beautiful activities. Where is my heart being called or pulled? And, what is the service I most want to contribute back to consciousness here on this planet, before I eventually leave the planet and go to wherever I'm going to go next. And so it was just such a beautiful way to move into my birthday, to do some of that self-analysis beforehand. And it was deep in a lot of journaling and feeling and kind of riding the waves of letting some pieces go and opening to some other pieces. And, it was like, it was a lot. So by the time we arrived at the last podcast episode, which was preparation for a party, I wanted to celebrate. I just wanted to celebrate. I felt like I had done quite a bit of inner work, and I just wanted to play. And it was so much fun. I had some friends come to town. I had more of my local gym, my energy gym community get together, and we laughed, we ate delicious food, we were hanging around my house, pretty much the whole weekend. Everyone was kind of coming and going at their own timing, what worked for them. We were just sitting on the couch and sharing stories, and when we were all hungry, getting up and going and making some food or ordering some food, and then just in this incredible community space of, this is how I feel life should be, where we all live within walking distance of each other, and we can just pop in and make a meal together and then go sit outside and look at the stars together, or go for a walk because that's just, we want to move, or just that sense of there's always someone around who you relate to and treasure. And it's super easy to just be in each other's daily activities. It felt like that for a whole weekend. And it was the most beautiful possibility for me, like feeling in the future, this will happen again, where people lived in tribes and supported each other. And I know those communities exist right now on our planet, but I don't know that they're sustainable. Maybe that's my own judgment. I don't know that there are as many, or they're as easy to access or step into. And it felt like for the weekend I tapped into that memory of what it has been before in other times, and also what's possible and what's coming. Where we all share our gifts, and some people are better at cooking, and some people are better at listening, and some people do Reiki. On Saturday, my friend Alice led this distance Reiki session for all of our gym members, and it was the most amazing thing. I've never done this before in this way. I laid on her table in my living room, and all of the women who were there came and stood around and put their hands, one or two hands, on me, and Alice was at my head and Renata was at my feet, and they were running energy. Reiki is all about energy healing, and we tapped into the grid of this energy gym community, and all of this incredible energy was moving through me. I don't even know how to tell you how cool it was. It was the most powerful thing. And I could feel everyone's hands were just touching me, and they were connected to that grid also. And it was like the image I see is of like a mandala or a star that has all these different points, and energy comes in and moves through, and like the Star of David, sort of that image, like all these places and points where energy can come in and move through and go back out another point, but it's all centered through this one core of the star. That's what it felt like. Like I was just the conduit, the form, the body through which all of this energy was moving from one person in the group to the other, and in and out. It was incredible. And I was so proud of myself. I told Alice this the other day. I said, I can't believe I could lay there that whole time on that table, and I never felt like I left my body. I never felt like I had weird twitches, or it was just, I was such an open conduit for what she was moving that it could just flow through me and go to where it needed to be. It was amazing. It was amazing. And I wasn't depleted at the end. I felt so excited and happy, and yeah, and perhaps because before that in the morning, one of our gym ladies, Shannon, led this Kundalini yoga class that was extraordinary in my living room. I told her later that is just the most incredible gift, to be in my living room on my yoga mat doing Kundalini yoga with this incredible teacher, and just to feel the group. We ended with singing together, chanting together Alicia Mathewson's Asatoma, with, her playing on Shannon's phone. Oh, my heart. Like, just sitting there with all these beautiful people after moving energy in yoga, and then feeling the sound of Alicia's voice moving through the room. It was so good. And I didn't have to do any of that. I just said, sure, we're going to all get together. And they claimed these times and experiences and offered their gifts to us, and we all were able to receive. It was amazing. It was amazing. And so, just to back up again for a moment, when I knew I was going to have all these people to my house, in the past I have found, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get a house ready to have people over, especially with coronavirus, and just being very aware of everyone's needs. And so it took a lot of time. It took a lot of time to get our house ready, and everything washed and cleaned and prepared, and food organized, and grocery shopping. And so on Thursday night, Ange had said she would come over and help. She shows up with baskets of flowers. I mean, 3 big Kroger boxes just filled with these vases of flowers, and which she put all over the house. I mean, our house smelled like a floral shop. It was incredible. And then streamers everywhere and balloons. We hung up all these little decorations about turning 50. I mean, we went all out. It was a party, and she just set the vibration of how it's going to be. We have a tradition in our family. I don't even know why we've done this, but we always do that. We hang up streamers for birthday week, whoever's birthday it is, and we put them all over the kitchen and the living room, and it's just fun and festive. And when you walk in the door every day, you see all these streamers, and we have a little wall that we make of streamers between the kitchen and the living room. So every time you walk in and out, you have to walk through the streamers. So Ange came and helped me put my streamers up, which was the best, and decorated and helped me prepare some food. And we did a shot of tequila to kick off the birthday celebration in this new 50 and Fabulous shot glass that she brought me. It was so much fun. So Thursday we celebrated and played, and then I picked my friend up at the airport, and Friday we just laughed and hung out and ate. Oh my goodness, so Friday night, this was amazing. We had, and again, I know I'm rambling, but I also trust there is something beautiful in here for you to learn for your own journey, perhaps for when you turn 50, or perhaps of how to celebrate the people you love so that they feel the way I feel, or how to tell people how to celebrate you. Like, there's a novel idea. I was really clear in explaining to everyone, like, here's what I want to feel, and here's the time I've got put aside for all of it, and then what are we going to do? And everyone just showed up and created this amazing weekend with me. So Friday night, we were sitting around eating and laughing. We had the most delicious gifts that people had brought, like chocolates to eat and cards to play with, and we were having so much fun. And then at 8 o'clock, we got on a Zoom call with the Energy Gym people who were not able to join us in person. And we start off the video chat like we normally do, saying hello. And then my friend Allison said, we have something to show you. I need to take control of your computer. And so she played a cameo from Trevor Hall that said, and I will quote, "Yo, Vivienne, it's your brother, Trev." And then he went on to wish me happy birthday. I was lost right when he said, "Your brother, Trev." So the whole weekend, I'm like, well, my brother, Trev, Trev and I, we hang out. We go way back. It was the coolest thing. Of course, I start crying, and it was so much fun because they absolutely surprised me. I had no idea that they were organizing that, and it was just such an incredibly generous and beautiful way for them to show how they know me and they know what I love, and they honor me in the way that I can just receive and celebrate. It was so much fun. I've played it over and over. My brother Chap and I. Oh, so that was Friday night. We had a little bit of a dance party. We just celebrated. Yeah, and then Saturday we did yoga, we had Reiki, all of the beautiful people that were coming in and out of my house were just bringing things to share with each other, and we were sitting around in the living room sharing stories and finding all the ways in which we are alike and yet also different. It was just such a beautiful day of community on Saturday. And then Ange made pasta Saturday night. Oh my God, her pasta is the best. It was so good. We had homemade bolognese sauce, and she made a cake for me that was just the most complicated thing to figure out, but we did, and she baked it, and it was incredible. It's called Better Than Sex Cake, and I mean, we don't need to get into if it's better or not sex, but the title alone, the title just says how good it is. It was better than she could have expected to make. It was so delicious. So we had cake, and then Friday, my sister surprised me. I'm going back and forth, but it just feels so important to name all of these beautiful things that kept happening all weekend. I was constantly surprised and delighted by the way that I am loved. On Friday, my sister drove over with my nephew on their way to taking him back to college and delivered in person her first painting. It's a replica of the cover of my first book, One Day, with the beach scene framed in white. It is exactly like it. She mastered it. It was amazing. And our grandmother is an artist, which we've never really tapped into her art or expressing ourselves through art until now, and my sister did, and it was beautiful. So cried over that. And then on Saturday night, my local girlfriends around here surprised me with another painting. I'm getting all these original creations. Handmade with love. It's just blowing my mind. There's a beautiful woman. She is the sister of one of my best friends, and she is an artist, and her name's Patty, and together Patty and I created a book a couple of years ago called One Day Gaia Grows Up, and it's filled with artwork by children who have autism, and their artwork matched with these phrases that I created that are telling the story about our planet growing up, which is also telling the story about humanity growing up. And so Patty and I co-created this beautiful book, and her art is always something I am humbled by and amazed at. Well, Patty has started painting Buddhas, the most beautiful Buddhas, their faces, their profiles on canvas. And she painted a 3-foot by 3-foot Buddha. It's incredible. It's so incredible. I'm going to be posting pictures of all of these things I'm describing on my Instagram account, so you can see them if you want. When I say thank you to all of these people on Instagram, it's the most beautiful creation. She included pictures from my girlfriends, phrases that they had given to her that, describe our relationship, and symbols. And so in this incredible painting are all these hidden things. It's so cool. So Buddha is for now hanging behind my shoulder at my desk. One Day by my sister is on my altar. My chakra blanket is on my feet. I have so many incredible, beautiful things that have been gifted to me. So that blew my mind. That was just the most amazing thing. And then we danced and we sang and we drank some wine and laughed and had the best time. And then Sunday, I was exhausted. Sunday, I needed to regroup after taking everyone back to the airport. Yeah, it was so beautiful. I mean, the weekend flowed. I'm sure I'm forgetting so many things, but in this moment, that's what's most aware for me. Yeah, so then Monday, I think I worked on Monday. Tuesday was my birthday. So Tuesday, my son took me to lunch, which was the best. It was so much fun. We went to this nice Chinese restaurant that we both like. And he dressed up, he drove me, he ordered the food for us, he paid for the food for us. He was just the greatest gentleman and the best company, and we had so much fun. And then he drove me around to have a couple errands. We stopped in at my parents' house and saw them and celebrated with them. Yeah, and then that night, on my birthday night, we went out. Which for me means we got to the restaurant at 7. We left the restaurant at 9:30 and I was in bed at 10. This is going out when I'm 50. We did tequila shots. I got a smash face full of whipped cream from our bartender, which I guess is the tradition when they put the sombrero hat on you. It was so much fun. We giggled and laughed and probably were too loud and had the best time in just a couple hours. And then Wednesday, I was suffering from that decision, but it was still so much fun. I went up to see my daughter and our friend Sally and just had such a beautiful day, connecting and sharing and hugging my daughter. And we went to Grader's. Our tradition always on birthdays is to go get the free birthday sundae from our favorite place. So we went and got Grader's and just had such a great day together. Such a great day. And then, Monday night I booked our tickets. That's what it was. I'm like, something happened on Monday that was really exhausting. I could not figure out where my husband and I were going to go and what we were going to do for our little weekend getaway. And so Monday was consumed with figuring that out. But we got it booked. And so on Thursday, we left for Sarasota, my husband and I, and went to the beach. We picked Sarasota because my friends Pam and Jer are there, and we just have so much fun hanging out with them. And so we were picked up by them at the airport. We went to dinner. They took us to our hotel. They had gifts waiting for me in the hotel, champagne and snacks, and just the best surprises. It was amazing. And so the whole weekend, my husband and I we saw friends some of the time. We saw Andrea while we were down there, which was so good. And we drank and we played. We walked the beach. We slept in. We looked at the stars and the full moon. We just talked about, our dreams again and what it would be like to own a beach house. I mean, we just had so much fun getting away from the everyday activities and routines. He surprised me. His students sang happy birthday to me because he had to do class on Friday, and they sang happy birthday when I came to say hello on the video. It was the cutest thing. It was just fun. It was a fun weekend. So we got home on Sunday and there was snow. There was snow. We had our toes in the sand. No, we had our toes in the water, our ass in the sand, cold beer in our hand for a couple days. And then we came back and it was snowing and cold. And so this week has been kind of an adjustment back to reality. Like, now what, Now what are we going to do? Yeah. And so I've just been receiving cards and presents and beautiful messages and saying thank you over and over to everyone for all of the beautiful ways I'm loved and seen and held in this human lifetime. It's the most incredible feeling to receive at the level that I've been receiving at, and I was saying to my friend Alicia, I'm like, I was really good. I was really good at receiving over the last few weeks. I don't know that I've ever done it as well as I have just recently. And I'm so proud of myself because much of my life has been deflecting things that come towards me and sending them to other people, or being the one who gives more than receives. There's kind of sort of a shadowy thing, like an inherent power when you're the one giving. You feel like you're the one. I don't know how to express it better than that. There's like a shadowy power that goes with that. Like, I'll make sure I'm always giving. Receiving is vulnerable. Receiving is, it takes courage, because your heart has to be, in my opinion, your heart has to be open to receive. And sometimes in the past, when I've opened to receive, what I've received hasn't felt so great, or hasn't been, maybe it's been truthful, but maybe it's not always been my stuff that I'm receiving, and so it gets kind of messy, and I don't know if any of that made sense. But I feel like I opened my channel in myself to receive at this pure level where what was coming in was authentic. What has been coming into my conversations, my life, my days, has been authentic connection, authentic love. The gifts that people have given me have been so personal and so perfect for who I am and what I treasure. And the gift I got last night. Oh my God, I can't tell you guys yet because it's something that my friend is just starting to create. But it's the most beautiful thing that I love, that is her expression of who she is. Like, it's so incredible. And I feel like the flow of energy that I have been sending out and that is coming back to me for my birthday month at least, is so in alignment and so pure and so truthful and like genuine, really genuine. The relationships I've formed are deep and tender and receptive and honest and I don't even know, good. Life is good today. Yeah, and so my life feels very joyous, and it's so funny because I say all that, and then yesterday I was just telling Alicia, I'm like, I had a shit day. Like, it was just a bad day, and everything seemed to go wrong, and like the timing of everything was off, and everything took longer than it was supposed to, and there were all these surprises and things I wasn't expecting, but they weren't good ones. And it was just one of those kinds of days. But then I had a dance party last night with our little beautiful friend that we get to see and play with. Like, come on, the lows aren't as low, and they dip for much shorter periods of time. And then I'm able to rebalance and recenter and refocus so much more quickly. I was watching this morning at the gym a Santero video yesterday and today. Yesterday? Did I go? I didn't go yesterday, the day before and today. And both of them have said the same thing, which of course is what I'm working through right now, which is why it's being reflected to me. It's this message of, your intuition. This is the message she was transmitting that I was receiving. Your intuition is so alert and so connected to your own source, to your own flow of truth, that as things come in, and like she was describing this conversation or connection between me and another person, and she said you kind of come together and bounce into each other and activate, catalyze something within each other, and then you go off into your own experiences or realities to ponder what came up or to look at what was activated. And she said for you're able to discern what that experience was all about, why it happened, what it was you're supposed to learn from it, and receive the parts that serve you and that are your expansion, and then bring that in and let go of the things that are not a match. And she said the other person who you kind of bounced into, they're doing more of the analysis and trying to understand why it happened. And so the experiences look very different for the two people. And I feel that, like, I'm so clear on, and this is the other validation that I had that was so beautiful. A friend of mine sent me an Esther Hicks recording, and it was about relationships. It was so good. I'll see if I can find the link and put it in the description. It was talking about, when Esther was describing how she had somebody say something to her and it completely derailed her. She's like, you think I'm that? I can't be that. That's not who I am. Why are you saying this to me? And so it spun her out, and she uses all those kinds of words, like, really threw her off, and she didn't know what to do, and she was muddling over it and in a bad mood over it and trying to understand why the person said that thing. And so she said, I started doing my practice, which for her is writing, thoughts and reflections. And she said, as she was writing, she tapped right back into her own source energy, her own knowing of who she is. And she said in that moment, she realized, oh, wait a second. I'm allowing this other person who doesn't know me in the way that I know myself to define me and to tell me that's who I am and how I live. And she said, what am I doing? Like, they don't know me like I know me. And so when I reconnect to my own divinity and source, I'm recentered again. And so she said she did all of her writing, and off she went, and let that bump energy kind of go. And I've been feeling that, and Santara's video validated that. Like, there's such a calm centeredness in myself of who I know I am. I know I'm not perfect. I know I will never be perfect, so I'm not even trying to be. I know I make mistakes. Like, I know I could be better in a million different areas. And yet the core of who I am, like the centeredness that is the soul inside of this human journey I'm living as Vivienne, is pure love, pure willingness to show up and be present and be open and experience the fullness of this life and go through the range of emotions, put myself into places again and again where I'm vulnerable and also curious, seeking, to soak up and learn as much as I can, to share what I'm learning, to be present with all of those around me as much as possible. It's the centeredness of who I am, and I really like myself. I really like who I am, and I don't question that as often as I used to. So there are times, people bring up reflections, and I look at myself and question and wonder, and eventually through all of that contemplation, I come back to my centeredness again and move from that place. And so I feel like that energy I am is vibrating out and bringing back to me these experiences, these gifts, these moments of presence with all of these beautiful people where they see me, I see them, we co-create beautiful moments and memories, and then we keep moving. Normally, in the past, I would have been trying to keep up with posting each moment as it was happening and sharing something and capturing all of it and making sure I thank everyone immediately. And I haven't done that for this birthday time, and it's been so good. It's been so good. To me, the feeling of being present with someone is the greatest thank you I could offer them. Being in the moment of receiving what they are giving me fully. and allowing their love to come into my heart and expressing my love back to them. Like, that's the exchange level that I'm experiencing and operating at. And so, yeah, there's going to be some thank yous, and this is the first big one, I guess, from my heart to all of these beautiful people who have just loved on me. Thank you. Thank you for the most incredible birthday ever. And that presence, oh, like it's so good. That's what Zach Brown Band is singing about in the song Toes. Like, I'm just right here with my feet in the ocean and my ass in the sand, and I don't have a worry in my head. This is life, and it's so good today, in this moment. Yeah, my hope is that for the next 50 years, I live more and more in that present state of constant gratitude, constant connection, and feeling the fullness of the experience as it's happening. Not later, because I have to go back to the pictures to see what I remember. I mean, that was my birthday night. Sometimes there are moments when presence is you're checked out. This is a funny little sidebar. My husband asked me that morning when we woke up, he's like, what time is your actual birthday? I'm like, oh, that's a great question. So I was born sometime around 3 o'clock, but that was in South Africa, and the time difference is 6 hours. So about 9 p.m. is going to be my birthday moment, like the portal of transition into 50. So I don't quite remember. I don't quite remember that portal because we were several shots in, and this big, huge beer that I normally drink when I go to the Mexican restaurant. I had that and the shots. I don't quite remember the moment of turning 50, and I'm okay with that. I am okay with that because it was so much fun. There was so much laughter that carried me into my rest that night that it doesn't really matter to me if I remember exactly where I was standing at 9 p.m. Yeah, and maybe that's part of this idea. It's not quite the idea. What am I trying to say? Sometimes it's okay to just play, to just celebrate the fact that you're alive in a human body, and then to test out just the excess. My husband and I both were laughing about that. Sometimes it's okay to get drunk. I shouldn't be saying this probably publicly, but this is for myself. Sometimes it's okay for me to get drunk and then the next day wake up and go, oh, that was a bad choice in this moment. Last night it was fun. Today not so fun, right? Because now my body has to recover from what I just did to it. Yeah, sometimes that's part of the play. It's part of the adventure. And part of the learning is to have our bodies, go through these experiences where we're like, oh, I ate way too much ice cream because I've got a major headache from all the sugar. And then we remember and we come back into a healthier balance with our body. Yeah. So this is 50. I feel grateful. I feel so filled up with love and just the most beautiful joy. I have some more plans for this weekend. This is the last, I believe, wrapping up. My friend Joe and I are going to go hang out and play and eat and laugh and drink. And then it's time for me to really feel into how to articulate and create specifically what I saw about what's next in my path. But not with this heaviness, before. This is a little nugget also that I'm realizing about 50. I've always felt like I have to get these things done or have some sort of list of accomplishments, the resume building and the GPA when you graduate and the list of places you've worked. There's got to be a list of accomplishments that validate my existence in this life as Vivienne. And what I've been feeling over the last few weeks is I've done all that. I don't feel like I have to prove anything to anyone anymore, even myself. Like, I have loved so well. I have busted my ass. I've also put my ass in the sand and chilled. Like, I've done so many beautiful things. And so the feeling as I move forward is coming from a place of ease and flow and gentleness, powerful still, but not in this way of effort or pushing something to happen. You know, I can feel this beautiful shift that is unfolding and moving with the energy gym, which makes sense. We just spent all this time together in my time of transitioning, so of course something is going to be different on the other side of that. And what I sense is like it's going to be this community building not from a place of need or desperation or saving, like we have to go save the world. The planet is failing and we got to do a mission service to make sure the planet doesn't come to an end. It doesn't feel that at all. It's from this place of joy. Like we choose to collaborate and share and laugh and connect and support and encourage, and beautiful things will happen from there. Something amazing is going to be experienced from this flow of energy that's moving through us individually and collectively. So that's the place I'm sitting in right now. I'm deeply curious about how it's all going to come together, and I also know it's already happening, and I'm just going to allow it to carry me where it needs to be the next 50 years. So good. All right, that's plenty. I will be posting some pictures in connection with this podcast episode. I don't know what we'll talk about next week, but in this moment, just thank you for being on this journey with me, and thank you for listening to my reflections and my rambling and receiving my love and all the ways that I have the reflections come back to me. It's so beautiful. I love sitting in this space on Fridays and just sharing. So have a beautiful weekend. I will see you next week. Oh, we have a new moon next Thursday, so check out some of the things I'll be doing for that, because it's a new moon in Aquarius with I don't even know how many planets and celestial bodies in Aquarius at the same time. There is some massive manifestation power moving us into next week, Thursday, and I'm going to be sharing a couple new things I'll be doing for the new moon. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably want to do that, because that's where I'm going to be hanging out. And if you have not yet signed up for my newsletter, I highly encourage you to do that on my website, mysouljourney.com, because I will be sharing some of these new offerings and new ideas that are coming through me for the next 50 years. And so you definitely want to be in that loop of what's happening. All right. So much love. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you for tuning in to this vibration of pure love. I invite you to join me on Sunday mornings for an hour of meditation, visualization, and energy healing, where we realign our mind, body, spirit with Gaia and Source. You can learn more at mysouljourney.com. Let's take this message of Gaia's love out into all of our relationships and communities today. So much love from my heart to yours.